Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset podcast. My name is Clancy Brooks, and this episode is the end of October update. As now we make it to another end of the month and just continue the cycle. I did. I'm kind of glad. I'm very glad that I actually made it to the end of this month because we're entering my month again. Oh my god. I love entering my month now because what happens is that every year I'm unlocking new stuff and like I wanted to make it to this one because I'm unlocking something greater this year. But after just not because I unlocked it doesn't mean I'm going to use it because I still have that initial fear. I have that initial fear. And then not only that, income wise. So it's like is one thing to unlock something, but then to actually be able to use it. Like for example, you can unlock the ability to purchase a home, but do you have the money to do it? Do you have the money to do it? Similarly with the thing that I'm unlocking, I will be able to do it, but will I have the money to do it? That's the thing. But that's how you have to really look at it. Each year you have to just you're unlocking something new, and the reason why you're actually unlocking that thing is because you spend previous years working to actually unlock it. You're working previous years to unlock it. So sometimes you may see some people say like, "Oh, how all of a sudden he's this and that and that," but you don't see that the years of work that was put behind it, years of work that was put behind it. You're just seeing the glory, but not the story. But good thing for the podcast, you're getting some of the story. Yeah, and the thing about it is that the more I do this, the more you're gonna hear the story. Yeah, but other from that, the what I actually started trading for a new work again, and if you may realize, that was very much quicker than getting that job that I have previously. And I think this time, this time, why I get the job, I don't think it's due to the fact that okay, I got the previous experience, so it was that I actually had more chance to get it. I don't think it's that for this job. Although I think that would actually, the fact that I actually went through that experience would actually increase my odds of getting a work faster. What I think will happen this time was that me getting that first job made me able to spot job opportunities quicker before because I actually got the experience of going through and getting this first job on my own, so I actually know what to look for and those stuff. So when I saw this opportunity, it was easy for me to just basically just step in and do it. And then what happened was that then I just basically got to work. I just basically got call and be like, bro, training. So I said compound interest. Just the fact of you going out and doing it. They go sometimes may not work out, but you just learn. You just learn about something better, and then when it does work out, then you understand why it works out. Then you can basically repeat the cycle, repeat the cycle. Yeah, and if you mean and again, if you mention, I actually went to that alumni event. I actually watched that last alumni event. Thanks to that, I actually got two. few new certification courses that I could actually attempt to increase my knowledge and qualification in the science space. So I could actually do apply more for more science roles and actually get it. But so I'm going to look into actually doing that, but not really to get a science for now because I just want to kind of secure this work just to actually just um unlock things that a normal human citizen would actually need, to be a functioning adult. So that's why you have to really, and that's what I'm thinking about this phase, entering this new phase as I'm entering a new month, and by the end of that month, given that I make it through, what will happen is that um I will be 1 year older, and 1 year older is different things that you have to deal with when you're older. So what happens is that so prior to years, you would have struggled through that broke phase, broke phase, and trying to figure out what things, a lot of things about life, trying to figure out a lot of things, and a lot of things were confusing. But no, you're not to say that okay, I'm more knowledgeable, but no, I have a good grasp of my what was lacking from my past and which is preventing me from moving forward. What was it that was kinda holding me back? And what happened now is that because I took the years to actually focus on breaking those curses now, what happened is that entering this new month, I'm going on to a positive. So what I did, so that's what you have to really think about. That's what you really think about moving in poverty. That was, if you listen to the podcast, you learn about the dopamine detox and the 90 days to change your life. That was important because you have to actually find out what is it. um, you have to find out where you are now and how far are you away from your dream life, and then what are the obstacles. And then when I actually did that episode, I found when I actually did that, I found out there were a lot of obstacles to my dream life, and it there was so much obstacles that I never thought I would actually reach the point to actually reach this point. But that's the thing about life. Life is real, can be really long. And then that was something that I actually learned from my, not put in perspective from my, grandmother and such. Like life can be really long. So it enough in the at the start, you may a year you may not figure it out, but after a while, things will just start clicking. And then sometimes you have to just basically just step back and just come out of your arrogance and just take time to learn from other people. Learn from, like, again, a Bible verse. I know that my grandmother say Proverbs, that's in 3 verse 5. One part of it say lean not on your own understanding. You have to just sometimes to say, okay, I don't know it. You have to just take time to step back, learn from people more experience, and then you just follow their step for a while until you find out your way. And I'm just basically finding my way now. So what I was lacking the basic needs. I had a very unstable lifestyle. A very unstable lifestyle. So what I realized was that what was preventing me from progressing really smoothly was a stable lifestyle. That's why if you listen to one of the episodes I talk about lifestyle inflation. So what I was looking for was stability. So I somewhat have that in the sense that I have a solid food, shelter, and clothing and transportation. I know I have work, so I could have internet. So now, going to this new year, it's just me making those things now to having that solid foundation going forward. I should be able to progress because what I can actually do now is do more career making moves. So now I'm just before I was, in my early 20s, such and such, I was just trying to figure out how to survive, how to get food, shelter, and clothing because that's important. Get the basic stuff. Now I can actually go ahead and say, okay, I can make moves now to progress a career. Make career making moves where be like, okay, my name is not respected in the field that I want to go because I can do that. I can't be out here be a starving scientist, you know, be out here be great and then boom, I'm out here starving. It would be very contradictory. So I had to just figure out how to get myself from that starving, and then you can actually make moves in your career to say, okay, now when you actually make those moves, now you're actually respected in the field because you're not you're not begging. You actually come in there with something of value. So that's the reason why of doing the certification course and the good thing of going back to that alumni event and then doing it now is that basically gain back some confidence in yourself, in your field, regroup some confidence, and then you just basically say, okay, now to have my full shirt and clothing, time to make some moves now to progress in my career. And the thing about it is that when you actually make the career moves, you may actually not like the career. You may actually just not like the career working lifestyle and be like, I don't want to do this. I want to do a more simpler job. But if you actually went the career way first, when you actually find that out, then it's going to be harder to actually reach this level that I'm at now at the full shirt and clothing because your income would mainly tied to your career job because they focus so much on the career. And so this is not me bragging on making that any way boasting or styling on or insulting any way of life. It's just that looking at my situation, this was the best approach for me. And I'm glad that I did that. And sadly, on the way, there was a lot of uh thing, but I said, you have to just make these moves. And if you listen in the background, unfortunately, I'm not at the best pace yet, but was better than last year. So I can actually say that it was better than last year. And that's how I have to really think about it. You're better than last year. So I'm actually grateful of actually ending this um October. And you may if you actually listen to this episode, this episode sounds more professional. In excluding that background noise. I should be sounding more eloquent if you may not if you may not realize. And so I guess anything more to mention is cleaning the backyard again. It has been one of the good thing about doing this in the second year of home ownership is that it's actually made more progress in one day than or yeah 2 days 2 days basically than the first year. Because actually, what happened if you realize I actually did all that work in the first year, so that in the second year, just basically just cleaning, raking leaves, and removing minor garbage and stuff. But unfortunately, the rake is still breaking, so it's not. I still have to find the right rake for the task. Find the right rake for the task. So when I find that, I'm back to the quality versus quantity episode. I'm in the position now where I can actually try to make a quality purchase for the rate. But the thing about it is that I do not know which is the best quality for the type of land. So that's another aspect of the quality of and quantity stuff. You can know what the quality is, but it may not be the quality for that specific purpose. Can be, and that's another aspect of quality and quantity. You cannot have a item that you think is not quality, but it's it's quality for the type of pur- for the right purpose, not that specific purpose. So it's one of those things. Now I have to find the right rake for the type of land, so that I don't actually waste my money spending over and over on the same thing. When I do that now, then the cleaning should be very easy. It should be like a 1 day thing. And 1 day is the thing. If I actually do it more frequent instead of actually doing it every month where we group up. If I just basically do it like once a week, it could just basically it will not pile up and it will be easy. And then I will be more likely to remove the garbage, the an unwanted item. Like it will be mostly leaves that I'm just clearing after a while. And that's why I have to really take do things in strides. Just do the hard work first. When you get that out of the hard work, then that's basically easy maintenance. And then after a while, you see the glory and you see a nice product. You see a nice product, and everybody will be like, "Oh my God, this place is so nice and so how is this place so nice?" And it's because you actually in the first year you put in the work to actually get to move away all the bad things, as much of the bad things that you can. And then now in the second year you're just basically maintaining. So now given this, so with the experience of work having to work and maintain a home, going to this next work, I could actually do better maintenance of the backyard. I could actually do better maintenance of the backyard. Because when I actually got the first work, if you may realize, I actually just tried to hurry up as fast as possible to clean the back, finish the backyard. Then before I start working, boom. And then when I started working, I barely even touched the backyard. Barely even did that. But now, being more experienced and gone through that phase, I understand how I could actually balance it out. So, as I said, everything is a process. Everything is a process. So, as I said, you may look at another person and seeing how well they're doing certain stuff and realize that it's due to years of practice. So, if you're actually not getting it as quick, hey, don't worry. Don't come overnight. You have to just basically just take your time, figure out the small steps, and those small steps will compound. Will compound. Yeah. What else? Uh, mm, yeah. No. This October was really hot. That was something. That was something that this October was unnaturally hot for a period, and it's one of those things where I'll be like, oh my god. So it does one of those things that kind of does influence me to actually do more things to why I'm actually going like clean up the backyard and stuff like that. Do more environmental stuff. Just actually does because I'm a person that believes, it's something that I learned. So I actually I think about it that the more trees, the more chance of rainfall. So I basically just cleaning the backyard is one way to actually do find a way to plant more quality items because there are a lot of bushes and unwanted weed. If I actually clean the backyard, I can actually plant trees or fruits quality fruits to actually benefits during sometimes in a hot period like this. Like what would be nice if I have like an apple tree, and then during the apple season, I just basically have can pick a lot of apples and just have cool apples throughout a period. That was some that that would be good. But you can have that if you don't actually put in the work to actually get a apple tree grown. Like apple tree don't come out of the sky. So that's why you have to actually do this work. Yeah, so uh, I'm actually glad ended this October. And if you may realize, I guess I could also mention again the, the bathroom cleaning. It was, and that's the thing with everything. It's going to be hard at first because they're doing something so unnatural. But once it'll get through that first phase, then maintaining it is easier. And I guess that's the message over again. Once you do it the first time, it'll be easier to actually do it the second time and the third time because you're doing it from experience, and then it's not as bad as it was the first time. So you have to just basically go through that first phase, and then you just do it over. So I guess that's basically it. Now grateful going to this new month. Yeah. So, and I guess there's a with the new work, if actually I'm still in a training phase now. If I actually secure this work, there's a lot of changes gonna come by 2024, bro. There's a lot of changes. So I just right now going to this new month, I'm just basically focus on getting the work, and then when I get the work, I just implement changes and just chill. Mhm. That's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm. Oh, one more thing I just forgot to mention was that I'm still around that 200 pound period area. But one of the things is that this new work is actually doing physical work this time. So my thinking is that I guess getting this position should actually assist me in actually decreasing my weight, or actually changing my weight to a more muscular weight instead of being fat. So I have to actually take a look into the good, the good side of doing the work. That's what you have to really think about each work. You have to just basically get the good. So the first work just basically give me a practice and understand of how my communication has been, and now I know how to work on what I need to do to work on that. Now this work is just going to help me with my physical ability, my strength, and all those stuff. And then I'll just basically just work on that. And what will happen is that to start in 2024, you will see a different me. You'll be like, oh my God, this guy is so articulate and so strong. I'm like, wow, it's because of those two work experience. Or it may be the exact opposite, but you'll never know. You'll never know unless you actually go in there and try. That's basically what I'm going to do now. Just go in there and try. So that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Hmm. Another thing I forgot to mention was so this new work. They know with the new work, you would go back to the 9 to 5 lifestyle. So what I would go back to is ironing, washing, and all those stuff. What I realized was that I actually ironed pretty quickly compared to before. So yeah, practice does make it perfect. So that's one of those things we actually do it over a time. You just naturally get better. Yeah. So I guess going to 2024, like a lot of the life skills is being refined. It's being refined. So yeah. That's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm. Another thing I forgot to mention was so this new work. They know with the new work you would go back to the 9 to 5 lifestyle. So what I would go back to is ironing, washing and all those stuff. What I realized was that I actually ironed pretty quickly compared to before. So yeah, practice does make it perfect. So that's one of those things we actually do it over a time. You just naturally get better. Yeah. So I guess going to 2024, yeah, like a lot of the life skills is being refined. It's being refined. So yeah. That's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm. Uh, Another thing I forgot to mention was so this new work. They know with the new work you would go back to the 9 to 5 lifestyle. So what I would go back to is ironing, washing and all those stuff. What I realized was that I actually ironed pretty quickly compared to before. So yeah, practice does make it perfect. So that's one of those things we actually do it over a time. You just naturally get better. Yeah. So I guess going to 2024, yeah, like a lot of the life skills is being refined. It's being refined. So yeah. That's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.